What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this is the Cheerson CX-10 versus the WLToys V272. Okay, so let's get these LEDs off and set them down. We're going to start off with the presentation. Now, the Cheerson CX-10 comes in this little thing here. It's a nice little packaging they have. It's quite small. You know, the Cheerson CX-10 comes in various colors. Those are it right there. Well, some of them, I believe it comes in purple as well, and pink. And this here is the box for the ready-to-fly version of the V272 Velocity, and this is the bind and fly. It comes in a bind and fly version, the Skylark, without the transmitter. So the CX-10 only comes with the ready-to-fly version, as far as I know. And the box is fairly small because it actually comes with this tiny transmitter. Okay, let's get to the transmitters. Actually, you won't be getting it this way. This one is modded, so just forget you even saw these things on here. These are actually mod sticks that I got with a little package for the this Proto X, and they just happen to fit the Cheerson CX-10 transmitter, so forget you even saw those. When you purchase this thing, it's going to come like this. So it's really tiny. I guess it's manageable, but I had problems flying it with this thing. It's hard to be really precise with the this small transmitter. Here's a lot of times when the battery is fully charged, you have a lot of problems. Well, I've had a lot of problems trying to find a nice hover, because sometimes I'll try to bring the hover down, bring the throttle down, and it'll cut completely off. That's how this thing is really not that precise, you know. So that's one thing that you're gonna have to deal with this CX-10, is that tiny transmitter, whereas the V272 comes with this thing. It's a really nice transmitter. Oh, I don't have any batteries in here right now, but this is a really nice transmitter. Oh yeah, this transmitter comes with, I believe you have to get, yes, 2 AAA batteries. It is all it takes, so that's a plus, that it only takes 2 AAA batteries. But this one here, this monster takes 6 AA batteries, but in turn you get a much nicer transmitter. You know, it has the LCD display with all your rates and stuff, information on there. You got some LEDs that light up here and all. So the transmitter is better with the V272. Okay, so now let's go to build quality. Now, build quality, let's start with the V272, since this one was out first. As you can see, the circuit board is actually the body of the frame of this thing. So this thing is really delicate, you know, from crash. It don't take well to crashes. I've had a few versions of, well, a few copies I have of this thing, because crashing it, you know, a lot of things can go wrong with this thing. You have the wires hanging out of here. You know, you crash, sometimes the connection comes apart, and you'll have one rotor not spinning and things like that, because the circuit board is actually the frame. It's all exposed and everything. That's one thing I really don't like about this thing. Now, the Cheerson CX-10 is actually really nice. The build quality, I really like this one better. As far as the build quality, you know, the circuit board is hidden away. It's, you know, it has a body. It's built more like the larger quads. Actually, it's good compared to most of the larger quads as well. This thing is really built nice. I really like the build quality of this thing, so and that's a win for the Cheerson CX-10 over the V272. Now also, this thing is smaller than the V272. The Cheerson CX-10 is actually smaller. So I think this is the smallest quadcopter in production right now, but it's just not official, but I think this is it. So let me see, what else can we compare these things? Oh, flight times are about the same. Well, I say I'll get maybe about 5-6 minutes tops with both of these. More like 4 or 5 minutes of flight time. So they're comparable as far as that. The LEDs. Now, the V272, the LEDs are much more visible in the daytime. The Cheerson just have 4 LEDs. They're okay, but they're not as bright as the LEDs on the V272. So as far as LEDs, the V272 has better LEDs, and as far as the implementation of the LEDs, it's better as well. As far as I know, currently there's no way that you can toggle the LEDs on and off on the Cheerson CX-10, whereas the V272, they can be toggled on and off. The LEDs can, so that can give you a little more flight time with this one. This one, the Cheerson CX-10, you just can't turn the LEDs off, so that's one thing against it, I guess. The props, I guess they're about the same quality. The props are. The V272 props sit up a little higher, I guess, for the reach over the top of that canopy that is there. The canopy is removable. The battery is not meant to be removable, I guess, but you can swap out the battery. The battery is removable once you take the canopy off. Now the Cheerson CX-10 actually has an on and off switch, and there's a little spot in the back for charging. The V272 as well. But the Cheerson, it's much harder to try to get at that battery there. You have to get a screwdriver out and, you know, get the work on unscrewing these screws here from the bottom, and then you have to take these clips off and you have to take the props off. It's much more work that you have to do in order to swap out a battery on a CX-10. So it's not really good for that. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, when the battery's dying with this thing, when you get the low voltage, this thing will fall out of the sky before it actually notify you to let you know. Before the LEDs start blinking, it'll fall out of the sky first. So that's really not good. You can be flying this thing and it'll all of a sudden it'll just fall, you know, and then the lights will start flashing. So that's one bad thing that they did with this one. Whereas the Cheerson CX-10 is pretty good. The lights will start flashing to let you know that it's time to land. Then you pretty much have a few, you know, seconds before you know, enough time for you to pull it back in and land it, or else it'll just start to descend and land on its own. If you just try to keep flying it, you'll just start to lose power. But the LEDs do notify you and let you know ahead of time before it actually cuts off. It doesn't fall out of the sky like this guy here. What else? The yaw rate on the CX-10 I think is better. The CX-10 seems to be faster, which surprised me, being as though the V252 is so fast, but the V272 is fast, but it's not as fast as the Cheerson CX-10. This thing is really, really speedy. The CX-10 is more stable as well. It's less drifty than the V272. This thing, the Cheerson, is more stable. So that's another one, another point down for the Cheerson CX-10. I think that's all really to compare them side by side. So I guess we can go to some flight footage.